What are you hoping Parliament will accomplish in 2023?
2023, I hope we get the medical care system straightened away. 2023. I think that would be Canadians' main concern.
I hope that they would demonstrate that they are in charge of the country and that they will listen to the problems relating to climate change.
Equalization of income, because a lot of people who on, say, a fixed income struggling in terms of prices that have been happening in the past few months, past few years. And it's hard for a lot of people, so that is one thing that I hope the government looks at.
Maybe just like a return to normalcy. There's been a lot of focus on getting through the pandemic, shoring up the economy. If we could just sort of find our footing on sort of a go forward plan, that would be great.
Less gun violence, less crime overall. I think across Canada there's a big drug issue, a lot of overdoses and a serious mental health crisis, and I think that the government needs to tackle more. Huge problems with that, I think, and I think that the government should figure out what's the best option to make sure that we have less of that.
Well, I'd like for us to really be there for the provinces as we get through, because healthcare in all the provinces are out of control, and I think that needs to be fully addressed, because without healthcare, you got no workforce, you got just too much expenses going out.
Hopefully inflation starts to slow down maybe a little bit, and we can kind of get back to a lower cost of living.
More clarity in terms of what's actually going on in our province and our country in terms of COVID-19 and other diseases and health issues, and really just helping small businesses get back on track.
Hopefully uniting the country. There seems to be a lot of division. So even at work here, I'm talking to my friends and we all got differing opinions on same issues. So hopefully we can all get aligned in the next 12 months.
How about if they like to reduce taxes? Because we're being taxed to the hilt, federal and provincially.
Rent and all that. And in bigger cities, I noticed that it's been going up like crazy in the past months, years. So that's definitely a change I think that we all like to see.
So something that is important to me personally is more funding for research in Canada. So that comes for graduate students and postdocs. They're criminally underfunded here in Canada. They're basically forced to live on salaries that are below the poverty line almost. And these are people that are highly desired experts in their field, and we're not promoting science properly in Canada.
I want to see them rebuild Canada's defence capability. Is what I'd really like to see start happening. It's pretty obvious from what's happening in Europe, in Ukraine, that Canada's fallen behind, as of other countries. And I guess the other thing is healthcare. We seem to have fallen behind with that too. We're not keeping up with what people's expectations are in terms of speed and access to service. So.
I still think we have a lot of work to do in terms of reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. As an educator myself, there's always more money that can go into education. Don't get me wrong, the government spends a lot of money, but teachers' voices want to be heard, and maybe that money can get better spent, not necessarily just throw more of it at us. And just from a geopolitical standpoint, it's important to me that Canada continue to strengthen its ties with our allies and partners around the world. It seems now that the Trump era is over, the United States and other countries are moving towards, certainly what happened in Ukraine showed that we are closer than ever with our geopolitical allies. And I think that that's important to remain, even though Canada is a big nation territorially, we're small population economic. So we need to be closer with our friends.
There's a large laundry list for them. I think for me, supporting the middle class is important. And I think we've gone through a very rough time over the last few years. And I think there has been support there. However, I do think that the middle class is shrinking, and I do think that they need a little more support.
I'm a student, so, stuff like housing, cheaper food, stuff like that's important to students. I know for sure for me, but, I would assume for other students as well.
more access and equal opportunities for our Indigenous communities, clean drinking water, education rights, equal employment opportunities.
Support the business community, support individuals through 2023, especially if we expect a recession in the near term, and then steer the economy into long-term prosperity. So I guess financial prudence where it matters, but supporting Canadians at large when it matters.